Welcome to the Torqueconomics weekly automotive updates leading up to the 11th of May 2025. Let's dive right into our releases and discontinuations monitor. Mercedes are making quite a few moves. Firstly, releasing a limited edition GT63 that commemorates the F1 movie coming later this year. Prices start at £169,000, with production limited to 52 units. This week, the company also teased its Taycan competitor. From what we can see, it is an interesting design. The traditional front grille is ditched, and the rear features a new type of circular taillight design. Expect over 1000 horsepower and all the fancy gadgets similar to its competitors. A new C-Class has been spotted in the wild, and the reactions to the design is mixed at best. The headlights are now a very small part of the front panels, although this might be camouflage at play. Nevertheless, this will be a minor change overall, as it is a mid-cycle update to the W206 generation. Moving on, whilst the C63 might have disappointed, its competitor in the new RS5 seems to deliver with a supposedly hybrid V6 power unit. Reminder that the A5 family is actually a successor of the old A4, as Audi does not know how to name things. Also from the VW group is the new Skoda EV SUV called the Enyaq VRS. The performance-oriented SUV is good for 335 horsepower and 340 miles of range. 0 to 100 is in the realms of 5.4 seconds. The newer generation of BMW X7 has also been spotted in the wild this week. BMW's next generation design language is more boxy, which appears to be a trend given the popularity of the G-Wagon and its competitors. Both EV-only and ICE versions will be available for the X7. The Yugo, which is commonly known as one of the worst cars to be sold in Britain, has been revived with its new owners. The new car is actually a petrol-only vehicle, despite its appearances. The original Yugo was a rebadged Fiat 127 produced in Yugoslavia, whilst the new design is ground up from Serbia. The Chinese-owned Volvo is releasing a new XC70, which it dubs as an extended range plug-in hybrid vehicle, which just means the vehicle is capable of all daily drive usage, with its battery capable of 200 km of range. This is not to be confused with an extended range EV, which uses a petrol engine to power a generator that charges the EV. Following similar footsteps is the new Jeep Compass, which will only be available as a hybrid or EV with up to 375 horsepower. Reportedly, the North American production of the vehicle has been put to a halt due to the ongoing uncertainties, whilst the European release is expected to proceed as normal. Now we move on to the headlines of the week. We start with an F1 update as we see the second driver change of the season. The Australian Jack Doohan has been replaced after 6 races, which earned the team 0 points. His teammate Pierre Gasly managed 7 points in the same time frame. Doohan is replaced by Franco Colapinto, whom served as an interim driver at Williams prior to Carlos Sainz joining the team. Now, we'll look at another week of tariff updates. This will be kept brief, as I know most of us are already fatigued with the constant wave of updates. Trump has been quoted to say that America does not need Canadian cars, energy, or lumber. This follows a trend of the administration maintaining a tough stance throughout the past week, at least by appearance. However, as exemplified by a new UK trade deal that has been struck with the UK government, it appears that the administration has been willing to make compromises at the dismay of the local industry. Trump has given the UK a quota of 100,000 vehicles at a 10% tariff rate. The American Automotive Policy Council responded with, I quote, "Under this deal, it will now be cheaper to import a UK vehicle with very little American content than a USMCA compliant vehicle from Mexico or Canada that is half American made." Ford has finally caved in a month and a half after tariffs hit the industry. All Mexican produced models have been subjected to price hikes, despite discounts being offered last month when pre-tariff stock was available. This comes at a time when dealerships are seeing thinner lots. The uncertainty of tariff changes have meant companies are reluctant to import stock at a higher tariff rate in fear of rates being lower in the coming weeks. Mass market brands like Toyota are definitely seeing the pinch as a result of the current situation, with the car maker expecting a 21% profit decline, citing tariff as a direct reason. However, high-end cars buck this trend. Ferrari's sale remained high even after a 10% hike across all its models. Whether this can be maintained will have to be seen, but this does indicate a large wealth gap between the upper and middle class Americans. Regardless, BMW and Audi are both pointing towards lower tariffs within a couple months, as the current situation has been negative towards the automotive industry as a whole, with consumers being the most impacted party. Moving forward now to Tesla. The company has been notified by the US Patent and Trademark Office that the Robotaxi branding is too generic to be patented. Trademarks for Cybercab have also reportedly been rejected. This week, Tesla has also cancelled the originally promised range extender battery upgrade. The $2,000 deposit from potential buyers will be refunded. I expect this is due to much lower than expected sales for the truck itself, therefore a lower projected revenue number for the option. Let's now move over to Japan. Mitsubishi Motors is outsourcing its EV development to the iPhone maker Foxconn. Foxconn has also been seen speaking with Nissan last month on co-development. Perhaps this is why we have also seen Mitsubishi to launch a new EV based on the SUV Leaf that was released 3 weeks prior by Nissan. Overall, both Nissan and Mitsubishi Motors have not been performing well. Nissan has also just abandoned plans for a new battery plant in South Japan to cut jobs and expenses. A merger of some sort with these companies is still the likely outcome in the medium term. We now move back to some legal news. Colorado joins 29 other states in the USA to allow K-cars on the roads. K-cars, by the way, are small Japanese vehicles which have tax and parking advantages in Japan. Their engine sizes are limited to 660cc, hence why they are banned in some states for being too slow. California is suing the federal government over some funds originally designated for EV infrastructure development under the previous administration. The total amount is over $300 million. In corporate news, Audi is looking to offload the iconic design firm Italdesign. Italdesign have been responsible for some of the world's most iconic cars, including the Lotus Esprit, the BMW M1, the original Golf, and the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Geely has proposed to take the subsidiary Zeeker private in an attempt to tighten control, but also streamline manufacturing. Geely also thinks Zeeker is trading below fair value due to current market turbulence, therefore it is a good time to fully buy back shares in the company. In other news, the Chinese-originated US startup Faraday Future has lost another $48 million in the first 3 months of 2025. The company had also only sold 2 cars during the same time frame. Hyundai is moving ahead with humanoid robots in a US manufacturing plant based in Georgia. The aim is to automate 40% of assembly work by the end of the calendar year. Stellantis and Renault are urging the EU to adopt more friendly policies for smaller vehicles, as current emission ruling favours larger vehicles. Both companies have stated increased costs and lowering availability for smaller vehicles under current trends. Moving into the They Just Cannot Make It Right section, we have had a couple notable recalls this week. Volvo is launching a major recall in the US over a rear-view camera issue for over 400,000 vehicles. The good news for owners is that the issue appears to be software only, therefore an over-the-air update will suffice. Amazon's Zoox unit will recall its vehicles for software issues which have led to a crash in Las Vegas. The company's autonomous vehicles are known for not being able to predict cars in front slowing to a stop and therefore rear-ending them. Now, that was all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and please look forward to weekly videos on an ongoing basis. On that bombshell, goodbye.